How's it going, everyone? I am Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day, and welcome to today's Pokémon GO video. Okay, we got ourselves what could potentially be a massive announcement. Starting with the next Team GO Rocket Takeover event, Grunts may now have Shiny Shadow Pokémon encounters. This was initially speculated by the Pokémon GO community, but it seems like Niantic went ahead and confirmed it. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Alright, let's talk about this. So, the Let's Go event has kicked off in Pokémon GO, and it has generated quite a lot of buzz. The event itself is pretty good, with a few rare Pokemon among the rare spawns, and Shiny Meltan being available to everyone. But one of the aspects of this event that most players are looking forward to is, of course, the Team GO Rocket Takeover that is going to be happening at the second half of this event. Now, something that caught a lot of players' eyes in the announcement for this event was some text that said that Shadow Pokemon that are rescued from Team GO Rocket Grunts during this event have a chance to be shiny. This was a hot topic of discussion over this past week. Was this an error, and Niantic meant to say Team GO Rocket leaders instead of Grunts? Or is this going to be a feature of this particular event that would separate it from other Team GO Rocket takeovers? Well, now it seems we got some confirmation from Niantic that it is actually the latter, and it even gets better than that. After this upcoming Team GO Rocket Takeover kicks off, any Shadow Pokemon that you get from Team GO Rocket Grunt battles does have the potential to be shiny. Niantic also stated that this would be a permanent change, and not just during the Takeover event. Before this change, it was only available from leader battles and Jesse and James battles, but now it looks like Grunt battles will produce them as well. This was confirmed by a bunch of content creators and influencers who have a direct line with Niantic. I can't say that I got a confirmation myself, but this does seem super exciting if it ends up being true. There are plenty of gameplay implications for this. For one, plenty of Shadow Pokemon are considered meta for both PvP and raids, but most of them are only available in Grunt battles. Before this change takes place, the prospect of having a Shiny Shadow version of these Pokemon was just simply not there. Now, you can get yourself the ultimate flex in raids. Just imagine having Shiny Shadow Pokemon like Dragonite, Mamoswine, Gardevoir, or Tyranitar in your collection. These are some of the most powerful Shadow Pokemon around, and having the shiny versions of them would be insane. If this change ends up being true, then all of this will become a possibility. There's no question this should create a lot of buzz for Pokémon GO. Team GO Rocket battles will instantly move to the forefront of the community's radar. A lot of players will likely be farming up Grunt battles more often, and this could definitely open up a lot for everyone. I imagine there's going to be communities calling out specific Grunts with specific Shadow Pokemon. Since there are a few that are going to be sought after over others, this change could open up some doors for more community-based play. Of course, we should definitely temper our expectations. While the possibility for a Shadow Pokemon to also be shiny is exciting, you shouldn't expect to get them right away. Currently, the shiny rate for Team GO Rocket leader battles is 1 in 64. I suspect the shiny rate from Grunts will not be that. I predict it could be full odds for Grunt Shadow Pokemon, which is about 1 in 500. This means any of these shiny Shadow Pokemon are going to be extremely rare. If that ends up being the case, then it will keep Team GO Rocket leader battles relevant. I mean, one of the primary motivations for doing leader battles was the chance at getting a shiny Shadow Pokemon, so if Grunts had the same shiny rate, there would be less of an incentive to do leader battles over Grunt battles. So I do think Niantic is going to keep the shiny rate much lower for Grunts compared to leaders. But of course, we just won't know until this change is implemented. Yes, it would be super nice to get a shiny Shadow Tyranitar or Dragonite on the first day, but don't expect that to happen. If it does, that's awesome, but we should be realistic. Niantic also has a poor track record for implementing changes like this, so it may not even work as intended right off the bat. We should just keep our expectations in check and hope for the best. Something I wanted to bring up regarding this change is in regards to Shundos. Yeah, this could be a way for you to add more Shundos to your collection. When you purify your Shadow Pokemon, you add 2 points to each IV of that Pokemon. Thus, if you have a shiny Shadow Pokemon that has IVs of 13, 13, and 13, you could purify it for a Shundo. Of course, purifying is typically ill-advised, especially if the Shadow Pokemon has IVs that high. However, if you don't care about that and just want a Shundo, then this change could open up some doors for you to get one. Now, I can only think of one negative to this change, and it's not even a big deal. By allowing grunt battles to also potentially get you Shiny Shadow Pokemon, the current set of Shiny Shadows that players already have will now have some reduced value. I mean, getting a Shiny Shadow before this change was a rare occurrence. Unless you are doing dozens of Team GO Rocket leader battles a day, chances are you only have one or maybe two of these in your collection. After this change takes effect, Shiny Shadow Pokemon are going to be more abundant. You will see more of them in raids, PvP, and gyms. Overall, I think this is one of the better changes Niantic has done to Pokémon GO. If it turns out all of these confirmations are true, then you do need to give credit where credit is due. This is definitely a good change for this game and will be a net positive. I mean, getting a Shiny Shadow Pokemon is already exciting, but giving players more opportunities to get them is just a great move. Don't forget, all of this is supposedly going to start this Saturday when the Team GO Rocket Takeover begins. Be on the lookout for grunt battles, and definitely utilize all the bonuses related to them. On top of hunting for Shiny Shadow Pokemon, you can get yourself a lot of Stardust while farming up grunts. Some of the Shiny Shadows that I'll be looking for specifically include Mamoswine, Tyranitar, Dragonite, Alolan Ninetales, and Victreebel. These are Shadow Pokemon that I use quite often, and I would love to have shiny versions of them. We are also going to be getting some new Shadow Pokemon getting added into the grunt pool with this takeover event, and some of them will be awesome as a shiny. One in particular that instantly goes to the top of my wish list is Shiny Shadow Alolan Muck. This one is fortunately getting added this weekend, so I will definitely be looking for it. I'm probably going to go pretty hard on grunt battles after this change gets implemented. I'm just extremely excited for the possibilities here. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Leave your thoughts down below what you think about this upcoming change. Is there a particular Shiny Shadow Pokemon that you are looking forward to? Let me know in the comments and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.